What's up, Saints and Eights? Welcome back to another episode of Music and Makeup. This is a special segment I like to call Behind the Beat. This is where I sit down with artists making serious noise in their lanes. And from the streets of West Philadelphia, building a solid rep in the underground scene, he's been carving out a lane that honors both the essence of hip hop while still pushing the culture forward. Please welcome to the mic, King Shampz.
Thank you. That's a hell of an intro right there. That gave me some energy to get it going. So I'm ready now.
All right. So I'm just gonna jump right in. For those who are not familiar with your work, just tell us real quickly who King Shampz is and how you got your start in hip hop.
Oh, word. Yeah, King Shampz, if I could define myself as a phenomenal artist, somebody who takes their artistry seriously. I started when I was a real young boy in Philly with me and my brother. We started our label, Did Wrong Entertainment, and we started crafting a lane, I'd say maybe about 6 or 7 years ago when we finally found our sound, the sound that we wanted to kind of go with. You know what I'm saying? Which is like that fly hustler street rap shit with a little bit of lit. You know what I mean? Like it's some bounce with our shit too. So like we kind of made our own lane. And I'm a versatile artist. You know what I mean? I'm a lyricist first, but I definitely believe in having flows, having cadences, studying the greats and then listening to what's out here now too and blending it all together. So I would say that I'm a very well versatile artist for sure.
And I think that's really important in music is being able to have that versatility. I always say that when I'm listening to someone's album, I like to see a display of that they have like more than one flow, more than one type of beat that they like to pick, just like a bit of a flair to it. So I wanted to ask too, like growing up in West Philly, what type of impact did the environment have like on your music, on your style of music? Because there's a lot of artists from Philly, a lot of good like major figures and Beans, of course. Like how did that influence your sound?
That's a really dope question. And I believe that the environment in the streets definitely defined our sound, because we were really out here at one point in time. You know what I mean? Like really living a certain kind of life. So everything that we're rapping in our lyrics, we've embodied at one point in time. So it really was not only listening to the greats outside of Philly, like your Hoves, your Nas's, Wu-Tang Clan and everything. But like you said, your Beans, your major figures, your Black Thoughts. I grew up during that era where you had battle rap heavy. So you had Reed Dollars, you had, I know you're familiar with RJ Payne. Rain Man is what he was back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So like really being influenced by those dudes and by that scene and just really like I said, just like that street shit, like I wanted to embody that in the lyrics, and I didn't see that anymore. I saw like dudes like, not really representing the hip hop in the right way as far as like from the lyricist side of things, where it's like, nah, you can like be lit and have like different flows and cadences, and really, show your versatility, but the foundation, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like that foundation is a big thing. So like growing up, listening to all of those guys, I kind of soaked in my environment and it became me and it became a source of pride. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm carrying that tradition on. I'm from West Philly where like gangster rap started. Like Schoolie D, like made it hot. You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like we just really carrying on tradition in our own way.
Okay, and speaking of like Schoolie D and talking about that, who were some of like your early influences, like both musically and personally, that helped shape your sound?
Well, definitely all of the street guys, all the hustlers like JBM that came from our neighborhoods. You know what I mean? Like Aaron Jones, Bucky, like a lot of the top like Philly guys from like that era, like in the '90s and everything. Black Mafia, Nudie Mems, all of those dudes, Sam Christian. Like actually on my like that cover art, I got the mugshot of them dudes, Ron Harvey, Sam Christian, all like the big time like gangster dudes that like came from our way. So that influenced me heavily. And on the music side of things, all of the greats, anybody you can think of from, like I said, Hove, Big, Nas, Mobb Deep, all the way down south to, UGK, Juvenile. And then, underground stuff. And I see you listen to them as well. Rock Marcy was one of my favorite guys.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so like listening to them dudes, it was like fly rap. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
listening to that kind of shit. And that's kind of how I was living. Like I like to wear, watches. I like to wear chains. I like to go out, do my thing. Like that's kind of the West Philly in me too, where it's like we like to shine, we like to do things a certain kind of way. So all of
Hmm.
that kind of made me the artist I am today, where it's like, nah, like it's too much junkie rap. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's too much junkie rap shit. Like I'm like, bro, like we never was on that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, so I got to bring that back to the essence for real, for real. Like those artists, what they meant, Dre, Snoop, and all of them too. I listened to. You know what I'm
You know,
saying?
I like that. There's definitely like a lane for that real fly rap. I like that.
Yeah.
I love to hear bars about some real fly shit. So there's definitely like a lane for that. And I feel you said it felt like at one point like everybody was turning into addicts and it was like just addict music. And I would say that like bring back the fly shit, the dressing up, the going out, telling us about the fly experiences you had. I'm definitely with that. So let's talk about your latest project, single, Sophisticated Hustlers. And what was some of the inspiration behind that?
Oh yeah, last year was an incredible run. I feel like for us, as far as our discography and catalog is concerned, I dropped Raza Corleone. That was my first project.
Mhm.
That did extremely well. I feel like that blended some bold, some new, some broad, some blue. Where it's still that hustler rap, but it's still lit like how we got like the beats today and the different flows and shit today. I'm blending it all together, but I'm still making it fly and I'm still making it lyrical on Raza Corleone.
Yep.
And the beginnings was a project that was basically like showing the beginnings, really. I think that's
Hmm.
really what it really was, that I think about it, where it was like the older records that I feel didn't get the spins or the respect that it needed. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
feel like it kind of got overlooked, so I wanted to put those records together for people to like stream and everything. And then go on to Sophisticated Hustlers, the record that we dropped this year. It was just to show again that versatility where it's just like bars, you know what I mean, trading back and forth, like that Nas AZ kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Where like them dudes was like spitting back and forth on flows, Ghost and Ray kind of shit. So
Yeah,
yeah, we just
a good sparring back and forth.
yeah, 100.
Yeah. I love that. So what's your creative process like? Are you like a pen to pad a type of person, like do you write down, or is it like just off of the head, or like a little mixture of both?
You know what? I'm a pen and pad guy because I want to make sure that my thoughts are precise. You know what I mean? I look
Hmm.
at myself as like a sniper in a way, where it's like I got to hit that shot, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I can't be bullshitting. Like I may only have one time to do this. I remember when me and my brother would go into the studios when we were younger, and we
Uh-huh.
ain't really have our money together like that. So it's like shit, we got to do this shit in one take, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
we got to go in
Make
here and rap, rap, rap. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
make the
So
best.
yeah. So when I'm sitting down, I'm definitely thinking about what's going to be the hottest lines, what's something I've never said before, and I'm always looking at the greats. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like I'm always looking at them where it's like, yo, these dudes literally went in here in the studio, made
Hmm.
classic records, and I have to not only match that, but surpass that. So my creative process is listening to the beats over and over and over again, repetition, listening to it like it's an art. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it
Like
is.
the shit that we're doing is an art for real.
It is. I say that being able, it's one thing, to be able to put together, a couple of little one liners, but I'm like to be able to string that and put that together and structure it into a song, especially when there's an element of like storytelling and rap. I think I talk about this in all of my reviews. That takes the skill to be able to put together and tell us a story and do it through song. It's definitely an artistic process. And I wanted to ask too, because you were talking about listening to the beats over repetition. So
Mhm.
usually, do you rely first on like the beats for your process, or are you able to maybe like sometimes write without a beat?
I think it's the beat for me, and that's a great question too. I think that it's the beat for me because you can write as much free verse as you want, and it can sound dope maybe for like freestyles. But when you're
Mm-hmm.
actually in the songwriting process, because I'm a
Uh-huh.
songwriter, that's what I believe in. I feel like you got
Mm-hmm.
rappers, you got people that freestyle well, and then you have people that really can put songs together. And I
Mm-hmm.
pride myself on this. I'm always listening to the beat. The beat is going to take me where I need to go. You know what I mean? Because I can fill in the words. I believe in my penmanship. I believe that if you're good at something, like how you're doing your podcast, how you doing your makeup, you looking good today. That's what you do.
Thank you.
It's easy for you to do, right?
Uh-huh.
After a while, because you've built up a certain kind of I guess a certain level of confidence with what you're
Uh-huh.
doing. So when I'm attacking the beats and I'm listening to the beats, I'm like, let me just listen to how this drum is going, what flow I can throw here, and then I'm gonna just put the words together. But I'm definitely for sure listening to the beat. The free verse gonna fuck the flow up for me.
Yes, now as a listener, that I'm kind of like that. I listen to the beat first, and then I'm listening to the lyrics. So
Hmm.
it's funny that you say that. So I always wonder like what some people's process is. I was going to say too, I can kind of tell when someone has just kind of free wrote and then
Yeah.
they added because it doesn't have that same finesse. It just kind of feels like the verse is just laid over top of the beat. There's no nuance, no, like you said, placing the word around the drum or whatever, and how this goes. There's no nuance to it. It's just like beat, rhyme. You just put it together and put it out. So I like that. I'm gonna say production wise, how do you choose your beats? I know you've worked with your brother in production, but how do you like choose beats and production? Is it a vibe thing or are you super strategic? Because I know we just talked about like the songwriting element of it. So what's the process for like, picking out beats?
That's another good question, and I'm gonna go back to something that you said earlier as far as being detailed and nuanced, right?
Um,
I feel like when you're listening to the beats, you have to be detailed and nuanced and strategic in order for it to sound a certain way. Because just like how you broke it down, you're an educated listener. Where you're like, yo, that sounds shaky as a motherfucker. I don't really
yeah.
know if you know what I mean? Like they really were focused coming in. I think they just like you said, bars, beat, and we gonna just put it out for the street. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that ain't gonna work. That ain't how
Uh-huh.
GO. I feel like you have to literally sit down, listen to these beats, and say, okay, this one is for a project. This is for the single. Like every time me and my brother are talking about records and listening to the
Mhm.
beats that he's making, it's like, okay, these are all hard beats, but what are they going to go to? Let's place
Uh-huh.
things the right way. Syncing
Yes.
things is very, very important.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely something that I'll be on for sure.
And having some kind of plan. So what's
Hmm.
you just talked about too songs you had your beginnings, which was basically songs that you felt were underrated. I was going to ask what song in your catalog you feel that is the most underrated and didn't get the love that it deserved.
Hmm, that's a very good question. I think it's a record called Dark Leather that I
Okay.
did. Dark Leather is actually on the beginnings, and I feel like that was a change for me as far as my artistry is concerned. As I was doing like a lot of hardcore lyrical records, you know what I mean, with a
Mhm.
little street flash. But like the Dark Leather, I felt like I found that pocket. I found my
Uh-huh.
vibe. I found that wave. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And once I like got that wave, like when you listen to it's another project that I think that you would fuck with that we did. And I believe the listeners would as well. It was called Dawn of the Dead by
Okay.
Dead Wrong Records. And I feel like that was the change of the sound for us as far as me being more comfortable. As a record called Forbes Niggas on there too. That's another
Uh-huh.
record I feel didn't get the love that it needed to. But we're gonna wrap that up with another like beginnings tape to kind of like some light on them Johns. But that's a real good question. I think those two are probably the ones people should check out too. And they're on all streaming platforms now too. So you can definitely check them Johns out for sure.
Now, I wanted to say too, I think that is a great idea that you packaged like the song in a way, because I think oftentimes when people are introduced to someone's music, they kind of start at the end and not at the beginning. So I think
Hmm.
that that's awesome that you have a project that's consolidated. So I think that is an amazing concept and you doing that.
I appreciate
Um,
that.
so as an independent artist, what have been some of your biggest challenges and how have you worked through them?
Oh man, whew, you on fire today with the questions. I love the detail. I love the
Yeah.
detail because I've
I
done
try
so
to
many
add some good
interviews.
ones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You ain't trying, you're doing, damn it. You're
Thank
doing it. You're
you.
doing it. I appreciate that.
Thank
I
you.
feel like that's a loaded question. And what I mean by
Hmm.
that is it's so much because
Uh-huh.
you literally are doing it yourself. Just like how you're putting your podcast together, it's the same way we've put things together where it's like, yo, I have to take time out of my day of other things I may be doing to sit down
Yeah.
and lock in and really push this product. And I think some of the
Yes.
challenges you get is motherfuckers be on bullshit, man. Let's just keep it 100. Let's just keep it
Yes.
100. When you're a
Yes.
content creator, because I'm pretty much the same as you as being everything's content creation now. I have to do
Yes.
damn near more of that now than actual
Then
rapping.
yes.
You
No,
know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Like you're selling that product. So I feel
Uh-huh.
like as an independent artist, you have to figure out what your niche is, what demographic you're going to hit initially, and
Yep.
really be not afraid to put yourself out there consistently, sending links, doing interviews, talking to different DJs, linking with different execs. Like you're constantly pushing. And the only help you have is God and yourself. That
Yes.
is it. And that's all
Yes.
you need
Uh-huh.
sometimes, but you definitely need a community. And I feel like that's one thing that a lot of people within our line in the industry, our line of work per se, they don't have. They don't have like
Yep.
community where it's like, yo, when I have a project, can I come to a podcast? When I have
Yep.
a song out, can I talk with DJs to play these records? Like it's not enough community. So I think that's something that's kind of helped us that really started getting us more and more a name on the underground scene and in the indie scene where it's like, oh, them brothers, like they can rap, but they
Uh-huh.
got a lot of campaigns, they got rollouts, they have all of these different things that you're doing on your own. Like I'm
Yep.
booking every interview, I'm booking every session, I'm writing all of my material, we're writing all of that stuff. We have to talk to these different radio personalities. We have to have edits. You're doing all of those different things, and those things, going back to what you said, I hope I'm not being too long with it.
No, no, no.
It goes back to that nuance and details. Where if you
Mm-hmm.
don't have the details together in this indie shit, when you're doing it on your own DIY shit, do it yourself, yo, you're gonna
Uh-huh.
be behind. You're gonna be
Yep.
behind. So it's
I
it's it's a motherfucker for sure.
No, I was gonna say that even running like this the podcast and me being like the host, the editor,
Mhm.
the booking agent for all of these different things, and really having a lot of things to keep in the air. I was gonna ask, how do you stay motivated? Because I know even for myself, there are days when I'm like, I don't feel I can't sit down and write another background. And like you said, you're having to reach out to different people, book studio times. How do you really keep yourself motivated each day to like keep doing these things and staying like on task?
I think that, and again, that's a great question. I think that prayer, meditation, and reading help me a lot. I
Okay.
feel like those are the things that keep me grounded. I'm a very religious person and I have a lot of faith in God. And I think that that is my foundation that I start with first every
Hmm.
day. Because if you look at the world that we're living in, just period, outside of music, you wouldn't want to go
Uh-huh.
out in this motherfucker every day. You would lay in your
Exactly.
bed and you would stay there. You'd be like, yo, I'm cool. Y'all got all that shit outside. I'm good.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But that's not the reality of the situation. Bills got to get paid and goals got to get accomplished.
that's
So
right.
I look at it and I say, yo, I'm like, if God is betting on me today, then why am I not betting on myself? Why am I not getting up doing these things? And I have the talent. It's not like I don't
That's
have
right.
it. It's not like I don't have these things that God has given me to do. So I meditate on things, I manifest things, I set out my goals, and I do it one step at a time. So I won't get
Yep.
overwhelmed. Because again, like you said, you're wearing all of these hats, right? So you can
Uh-huh.
become easily overwhelmed by all of the pressure that is not
Yes.
only being put on by yourself, but all of the things around you. So I think it's very, very important to have like a strong faith foundation, put God first, and then say, yo, I'm gonna go get this shit. Like this is my dream. I want to be one of the greats. So in order to
That's
be
right.
great, I can't take no breaks, Jack.
That's right. Okay, so I'm going to ask you too. We talked about being like content creation and how, and I hear a lot of artists say that sometimes they wish they could just focus on their art and not
Mm,
have to do so much of the content creation part about that. I'm going to say in the social media era, how do you balance authenticity with being visible?
man, whew. I feel like you just kind of literally just be yourself. Put that fucking camera on and say what you are. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Be who you are every day. Because I
Yeah.
feel like trying to create a persona is again what I say, creating a persona that's
Hmm.
not really you. Like what
Yep.
you see with me is what you get. I'm a charismatic, loud guy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I talk a lot of shit, but I back that shit up. That's who I am.
Okay.
So you'll see that in a post of me talking, or like the different things that I do, like my word of the day, that I'll give some thoughts from my mind, or something that I read that I want to go on ahead and share to people that are like me and you that need to hear that motivation sometimes, to be like, yo, keep going. Like, think about it. Like, the one thing I said was greatness requires patience. And it
Yep.
does. You have to be patiently aggressive. You got to move a certain kind of way. So I feel like all of those things, to wrap up, going back to your question, I feel like those are the things that keep you authentic. Like you saying what you mean all the time,
Mm-hmm.
unfiltered, and it is what it
Uh-huh.
is. Because I feel like when you do that persona shit, people start to poke holes through it easily.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like with me, you're going to get what you get every time. So I feel like that's how you have to kind of navigate it in social media, because everybody can go back to a post 5 years ago to see if you really was doing X, Y, Z. So that's
Yes.
where we at with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I tell people, I think the people that I've seen win at social media were literally just being themselves.
Hmm.
No gimmick, no nothing. The public, after a while, people can tell that this is
Yeah.
not you. So are there any younger artists or new wave movements that you're like rocking with right now? I know we talked about, a lot of old school artists, but is there anyone from today that you're really fucking with their music?
Let me think of what I'm listening to. This may throw people off, but I like NBA Youngboy. I like his shit.
Now
Yeah.
I got introduced to his stuff through Tyler the Creator, because I couldn't quite understand. I was like, what is all the craziness about? But he was on Call Me If You Get Lost. And I was like, okay,
Mm.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, yeah. I like some of his music. I like Larry June. June got
Okay.
some dope shit. Yeah,
Oh
I feel
yeah.
like he kind of fits in the lane I'm in a little bit of, just like making that fly nigga rap type shit. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So I fuck with June. Younger dudes. Um, damn. I mean, a lot of these guys suck. To be honest, just keep it in 100. So I can't really I can't
Say,
really just like say like I'm bumping it, because I just was listening to some drill shit earlier. I'm not gonna say
mhm.
the artist's name. I ain't gonna disrespect the brother, you know what I mean? But he horrible. And a
It's
lot of these
like,
guys, they horrible.
uh,
Like, they bad. Like, the only guy I was listening to, and he passed, and he was kind of from our area. I like Pop Smoke shit, rest in peace. I like
yeah.
his shit. Like, he had a certain wave with him, like a certain kind of intensity with his
He was.
records. But like, I ain't really heard nothing that like moved me for real, for real.
I was gonna say that too. I was telling somebody, I said the older artists are, I feel like, making better music almost than some of the younger acts. The shows are better. I will say that. I said that older artists are outperforming the younger ones by leaps and bounds, and I
Well,
don't
you
know
know
why that
why?
is.
You know
Um,
why, for real, for real? Just saying this, and a
mhm.
lot of people don't want to talk about it, and we'll have to come back and do another interview, because I'm loving this interview. We're gonna have to talk
Yeah.
about it. But
Uh,
one of the main reasons why is because A&R is gone. There's no more
mhm.
A&Rs. These
That's true.
A&R guys are focused more on likes and followers than the actual artists.
I've
So
heard
if
that.
yeah, so these guys that are popping out of nowhere, these little guys, they just jumping off of going viral, and the label like, okay, you got 100,000 subscribers,
Uh huh.
fuck it, let's just sign you and put you out. And you're like, bro, he's never done interviews, he's never performed in front of nobody, and you're wondering why
Yeah.
he's mumbling through the set and doing all of these different things. It's like he's not taught. These older artists, for better or worse, all was
Hmm.
signed to labels at one point in time.
Uh huh.
Okay, they could be indie now, but
Yep.
all them niggas was signed to labels.
Yep.
Okay, every last
Uh
one of
huh.
them, some kind of way. They
Uh
had
huh.
A&R work, and they were
Hmm.
able to develop. And in
Yes.
today's era, because everything is so instantaneous and everything has to be insta this, insta that, insta this,
Yep.
people don't believe in grandma's old Thanksgiving. They believe
Uh
in hot
huh.
pocket shit. But
That's
what
a good
lasts?
analogy. I like that analogy.
Come
I
on
like
now.
that. Yeah. I noticed that too when it comes to like performing, like you said, just being able to interview. And I know a lot of times we'll scream like, where are these people's PR people? And they haven't had any media or, they're just tossed out there. So I'll give an example. Interviewing. When I first started the podcast, everyone was like, oh, you should interview people. And I said, I'm not ready because I haven't studied how to interview someone. Like, I don't even know how to edit. And we're already talking about scheduling interviews. I believe there's like steps that you follow and you learn. So I'm with you. I think people want everything very instant. They do not want grandma's Thanksgiving. They want a hot pocket. And it's like your quality ends up missing there. So let's flip it. Outside of music, what's something that you're passionate about that might surprise people?
I'm a big sports guy and I'm a big documentary guy. I love to study other greats. I feel like in order to be a master, you have to study other masters. And whatever field it is, like you were saying about you going to do like interviews and stuff, like I'm pretty sure you're studying the greats that have done the different interviews, your Elliot Wilsons or whoever you can think of that you're looking at and saying, okay, let me figure this out. Let me take a little of this, let me take a little of that and add that to my style. I study great boxers like Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali. I watch like those guys because you see the discipline that they have. You see the great lengths that they took their bodies to be exceptional and be great. And then I read a lot. I'm a big reader. I actually am reading this book, and I think you should check it out too. It's called The Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi. And yeah, it's a really, really, really good book. It really breaks down like warfare and how you can maneuver and navigate through the day. Being confident, controlling your emotions, controlling certain things, all of those little details that make you successful in whatever it is, it really is like a step boat. So yeah, I'm big on reading and big on sports. I love baseball, football, basketball, because I was an athlete too, so I'm always like tuned in. So yeah, those are my things like outside of music that even it kind of all blends together for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm learning so much from these different things. I'm just taking this and taking this and taking that. And then all of a sudden, when I'm sitting and I'm rapping or putting these different ideas together, it benefits me greatly.
All right. I know you said you're reading the book, The Five Rings now, but what's like one of your favorite books?
Probably this one. And then I may go with Think Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Okay.
That's a really good
I've read that one.
Yeah, that's a really good read too. Yeah.
And what's like your go back to music, but what would be like your dream collab, dead or alive? Who would be like your dream collaboration?
Do I just get one?
I know you can do a couple. I'll give you a couple because I know I couldn't do just one.
I was like, damn, you kind of stingy with the. I want to get a couple more. Damn. All right,
you can do more. You can do more than one. I'm gonna give you more than one.
Okay, cool. One would definitely be Big for sure.
Okay,
Biggie, Prime, Big. I learned so much from him. I'm a student of his, so definitely Big. People that's alive right now, probably Hove, Nas, Cool G, Scarface, Rock. I do, like I said, I do something with like NBA YoungBoy. I do something with like Pharrell, Ninth Wonder. Production wise, I would work with. Yeah, like I got a list. Like I got a list of people. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But that's some of them for sure. Definitely the Wu too. I'd throw the Wu in there, and then Prodigy I'd bring back too, because Prodigy
that's one of my favorites. So what's next for you? Any upcoming releases or shows that we should be checking for?
Oh yeah, right now we're putting together my EP. We about to run the summer all the way into the fall, into the winter. It's about to be the Dead Wrong takeover. Yeah, we not fucking around. I'm putting out a bunch of freestyles. I'm actually working on this series that's going to be coming out. It's going to be a series of freestyles called Bars from the Block. And Bars from the Block is going to be my own series where I'm giving you straight up exclusive freestyles, no bullshit, all written shit from me. And it's going to be something dope. And then I'm going to be dropping a lot of videos. We're definitely going to be doing some shows. I'm going to definitely be posting that on my Instagram and on my Twitter as well to make sure that people have the necessary updates. But yeah, I feel like pure dominance is happening. I feel like the game is wide open. Much love to like the Clips with me and my brother was talking the other day. It's like I'm big on them because, and that's the Clips. The Clips is
Oh
definitely
yeah.
somebody with collaborate with too. But them dudes is 90. No
Yeah.
disrespect, but they like 90 years old. Like we got to be the ones that kind of carry the fucking torch. So it's like,
Yeah.
yo, like we got to carry this shit on. And guess what? Let them get their money. I'm looking forward to the album too. But it's time. It's time for the young silverbacks to walk past the older ones and get it cracking. You know what I mean?
I know
So
that's right.
we ready for the summer. Yeah. So all my updates and stuff's gonna be on Instagram. All my stuff's gonna be on Twitter. And I expect us to drop some legendary music and really elevate shit.
All right, and just to say, where can listeners find you, support your music, and stay tapped in?
Oh, for sure. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at King Shampz, KingShampz. Follow me on both of those. On my TikTok too, I just started that. I'm gonna be
All
putting a
right.
lot of freestyles and stuff on it. Yeah, you gotta evolve. You
Yep.
can't sit on your hands. You know what I mean? You
That's
got to
right.
use all of these different tools as weapons. So you can follow me on there. And then you can check out the music on all streaming platforms. Like I said, Rosa Corleone, probably the most slept on project of last year. Go check that out. That is a very, very elite rapping, elite production kind of project. If you fuck with bars and production, check that out. The Beginnings is out now. We also have a label project. It's called Murder Files. Shout out to Black and Frio. Those are the artists from our label, Dear Wrong Entertainment. We got some records with them. And all the rest of the records, like I said, Sophisticated Hustlers, that's out right now. Go check that out on all streaming platforms, man. Don't beat yourself, treat yourself, man. If you love live rap, if you love real dope bars and production, come fuck with us, man.
All right. Well, thank you so much, King Shampz, for joining the podcast. All music that we discussed today, I'm going to tag all of this in the subscription box. And do not forget to like and subscribe for the latest in music and makeup. That is our time say today. It's love you. Bye.